When you're first, everything changes. The limelight, the expectations, the target on your back, it all gets bigger.
With the first pick in the 2020 draft.
Going first takes courage. You forge your own path, you control your own fate. The crown is heavy because it's fit for a king.
The Cincinnati Bengals select Joe Burrow, quarterback, LSU.
Once you go first, there's no going back. But if you're worthy of the call, you wouldn't want it no other way. It becomes a part of you. Because once you put that jersey on, it stays with you forever.
Never change on my game, I'm
Joe Burrow does not miss it.
Forget
that. We're here to win. We're here to play for championships.
Joe Burrow is the best player in college football.
Never change on my game, I'm stuck with my
really one of the greatest in the history of college football.
Yeah.
And he somehow escapes again.
Joe Burrow, he's the greatest quarterback I've ever seen.
Trust me, this isn't the end, Joe. It's just the beginning.
And we say hello to you on a beautiful Chamber of Commerce Wednesday afternoon. Once again, Tigers Roar is back. I am Buddy Songy on this gorgeous hump day, along with Jonathan Poche. JP, we can only kind of give the social distancing elbow bump and fist bump, but back with another edition of Tigers Roar. As most of you know, because of COVID-19 and the craziness in our world, we have kind of taken a sabbatical with Tigers Roar, so we're going live today. We're simulcasting. I'm not really back at the regular radio station and studio, but we are doing combo TV radio to give everybody a little bit look, because I had people calling me saying I'm tired of seeing that replay that we've seen 100 times. But good to see you, my man, and I hope you and the family are doing well, staying safe and healthy. And we got a lot going on over here on a Wednesday afternoon.
It's great to be back, Bud, man, here on Tigers Roar. Tell you, there's no sports going on, so it's been really dry on TV. Thank God for The Last Dance with Michael Jordan. And what a month, the draft, LSU. 14 players drafted. The entire offense draft eligible gets signed with an NFL team. Of course, you saw Joe Burrow goes #1. What an outstanding weekend for publicity for the LSU Tigers. Really happy for Clyde Edwards-Helaire getting that last pick in the first round, going to the Chiefs along with all those other Tigers. We did a great job for the program. Obviously, 15-0 national champions, now moving on to the National Football League, ready to make their mark. I'm just happy to be here talking sports with you, Bud, man.
Yeah, no doubt about it, folks. We miss all of you, and we want everybody, obviously, to stay safe and hang in there as we move forward. NFL schedule coming out tomorrow night. Man, look, the NFC South with the Saints going against Tom Brady, and of course now Joe Brady and your boy that you like so much, Teddy Bridgewater. And then can the Falcons, can they overcome that psychological phobia which still is ingrained in their brain and their belly, the 28-3 deficit that New England had and came back and stole that Super Bowl. But Brady, Matt Ryan, Drew Brees, and Teddy Bridgewater, along with Joe Brady coordinating, calling plays with Carolina. Is it Drew's last year, or do you think he's got enough gas for 2 years left?
Well, it's still a little early, I think, to call what's going to happen this year. Of course, with all this crazy with the pandemic, Drew Brees did sign the 2-year contract. His base salary for this season is only about $1 million, $2 million. Did the team a favor, taking less money. Came back, still have some weapons around, and they bring in Emmanuel Sanders from the 49ers. Still have Mike Thomas, the best wide receiver in the league. Alvin Kamara on his last year of his contract. He's going to look to have a big year. He played through a lot of injuries last season. He's back to 100% this year. Drew Brees, if the team does succeed, moves on to NFC Championship, possibly a Super Bowl, this might be his last ride. I think if the Saints fall a little bit short, Drew is going to have that itch come next June. Hey, I might need to play another year, give it one more shot, get one more ring before I ride off into the sunset.
This is a combination of Tigers Roar and Buddy Sports Talk. Normally I'm on from 1 to 3. We're only doing 90 minutes today with TV. Be back on TuneIn app tomorrow with Thursday, Friday. Jack Hunt, who was a big part of that 2003 defense, along with Ed Daniels. On Friday, my Jim Hawthorne, along with the old ball coach Pete Cardelli. And let's kind of recap that draft. We talked about it, JP, before it happened. Obviously, since the last time we were here together, the Saints picked up Emmanuel Sanders, so it really didn't make priority number one at wide receiver. But there it is, Patrick Queen sitting at 25. They don't take him. I think he's better off going to Baltimore.
Agreed.
They get Zach Bond, Cesar Ruiz, not a sexy pick, but when you look at the film, Minnesota dominated the line of scrimmage. So it's going to be interesting to see moving forward with the Saints. And, of course, LSU, you cannot put a price on the millions of dollars of free advertising Coach O got with his program. Burrow at 1, Caleb on at 20, Justin Jefferson at 22, Patrick Queen at 28, and Clyde Edwards-Helaire. I predicted 5 in the first round, but I thought it'd either be Grant Delpit or Kristen Fulton. Clyde Edwards-Helaire fits like a glove.
Yeah.
And as we know, he got picked by the world champion Kansas City Chiefs. So 5 in the first round, 5 more Friday night in rounds 2 and 3, and then, of course, 4 more in the last day. 6 undrafted free agents, 20 players on that team last year, having a chance to make a pro roster this season. And, JP, I just think it's fair for you LSU fans as we get through the weeks and months of summer, pray and hope that we have some obvious cure and science comes to the forefront and we can have the confidence that we can get this thing under control. By the way, I have the sunglasses on with the first segment today to symbolize loss, and that's loss of life and loss of employment and loss of economy and all the things that people have lost. How bad do you feel for Russell Brock in beach volleyball and D.D. Pollock in gymnastics, Maneri in baseball, softball, all the spring sports that just got clipped? So I'll wear the sunglasses. Usually I wear them after a loss. This is what symbolizes the loss of COVID-19. And for those of you who have lost a loved one, we hope that you can overcome that. We know that's got to be very traumatic right now.
All right, stay safe. The pandemic is still going on. Don't get complacent. Continue washing your hands. Keep that social distancing. You'll notice me and Budman a little bit further away than we normally would be here on the set of Tigers Roar. We certainly appreciate you tuning in. We are live, TV and radio, Buddy Sports Talk right now. We'll only have a 90-minute show. Come back after this first break. We'll talk some more NFL draft. He's Buddy Songy. I'm Jonathan Poche. You're watching Tigers Roar.
Remember what these trips were like before you put the screens in the back seats?
I don't want to think about it.
Are we there yet? I'm hungry. Where are we?
Go, go, go. That game should keep them occupied.
Oh, yeah. Dad. Oh, in your face.
Don't make me get back there.
You don't need a new car to have new technology. Mike's Audio, conveniently located on Airline Highway near the corner of Bluebonnet.
Hi, I am Dr. Farrell Frugier Jr., and I am a general dentist at Frugier Family Dentistry. I was born and raised in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I went to Catholic High School, LSU, and LSU School of Dentistry in New Orleans, where I received my DDS degree in 1986. I always have and will continue to be committed to continuing my education, to invest in technology which makes the diagnosis and delivery of dentistry more thorough, more comfortable, and more aesthetically pleasing. In our practice, we are here to serve the patients. We want to improve their quality of life and to develop relationships with our patients. In dentistry, we have a chance to impact lives on a daily basis, not just by doing dentistry, but by getting to know them and being a part of their life. We also believe in giving back to our community. So every year, we give back to the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank, Toys for Tots, and Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center. Please stop by and visit our office. We would love to take care of you and your family.
Hello guys, it's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
Hi, I'm Bobby Yarborough with Manda Fine Meats. Here at Manda, we know what the folks of South Louisiana love. They love great flavored smoked sausage, delicious deli meats, and specialty items like boudin and andouille sausage. Manda Fine Meats has been providing these products since 1947. We produce them right here in Baton Rouge, so you know you're always getting the freshest product at your local grocery store. Manda Fine Meats. Taste the fresh local flavor in everything we make. Make it Manda every time.
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf and Country Club, a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to GreystoneCountryClub.com.
We continue here on Tigers Roar. That's the Budman, Buddy Songy. I'm John the Poche here on a Wednesday afternoon, simulcasting with Buddy Songy Sports Talk, on the radio. Give us a call, 225-831-1029 if you have something you want to talk to Buddy about, or me. I know Budman's the expert. I'm just here to look pretty.
Well, you're looking pretty darn good, by the way. We hadn't done a show in so long, and, of course, Carl G., our producer and operator over at WUBR and the radio station, had to take the day off. And instead of me hitting the golf ball, you know I'm a workaholic. And let's get right into it, JP. Obviously, when you see those 5 go in the first round, and then you see Delpit and Fulton go in the second round, and then glad to see Rashard Lawrence get a chance. You know, he's a guy that obviously Sadiq Charles probably cost himself because he only played 6 games. Yep. And then you get to the last part. How about this? LSU was so good. They had a deep snapper get picked before Ole Miss had anybody picked. Ole Miss is like Omaha. You know how you say ain't Ole Miss at home again with the Rebels never making it? Well, they didn't have anybody picked. Lane Kiffin's going to change that a little bit, as we know, moving forward. But lo and behold, Blake Ferguson gets picked in the 6th round. And then, of course, the Tigers 14 overall, the other 6 undrafted free agent. Is it rebuild or reload? And are you worried that the fan base is going to remember just how good LSU was when they saw A&M and Georgia and Oklahoma and Clemson? We've had nothing to do but watch those replays. Yep. Now your brain has got to transform and say, wait a minute.
That's right.
These guys haven't worked out. They haven't practiced. Yeah. Plus you're losing all this talent. Is it reload or rebuild?
It's got to be reload at this point for the LSU Tigers. Coming off the national championship, still a very young, talented team. They've done an outstanding job recruiting, as you know. Picked up a good linebacker in Cox from the FBS. That's right. Yeah. Right. North Dakota State. He's got a lot of speed. He can cover very well at the linebacker spot. Of course, you have Marcel Brooks is going to play a big role this year. You still have Stingley on the outside. Defensive front's going to be very good. 2 good freshmen coming in. It's all going to really come down to Miles Brennan. I think a lot of people have known that already. Can he take over for Joe Burrow, not fill those shoes? Because let's face it, Joe Burrow had the best season of any college quarterback in history of the sport. Miles Brennan, though, did get the endorsement from Joe Burrow, said he's a very smart player. That was a question mark on a lot of people's minds. Can Miles Brennan get through the reads, know where his receivers are at all times? Joe Burrow said he's a very smart kid. We know he can spin it. You see him throw it at practice. He has a very large arm. Wide receiver core is going to be stacked again. Returning Jamar Chase to lead that crew. I think Racing McMath will have a breakout season this year. Have some young freshmen coming in at the wide receiver spot, too. It's got to be reload. Even though you lose Joe Brady, Ensminger's still there. You bring in an offensive coordinator, passing coordinator from the NFL. Got to be reload. Not enough time to rebuild. SEC too strong. Week in and week out, as you've seen over the years. And, LSU very talented. Still looking – a lot of people are getting, 10 games, 9 games, think Vegas put them at. I think LSU's winning 10, maybe 11 games next year. If Miles Brennan could play average, they'll have a real good shot at winning every week.
I think I saw the over and unders on one casino was 9 and the other was 9.5. Bottom line is, JP, it goes back to what we said last year. You got to protect your quarterback. Yeah. And I think that's the one thing that fans have got to be cognizant of. Let Miles Brennan develop and give him a chance. I mean, we were talking about this. Look, if he throws for 30 touchdown passes, that still is the record every other year other than last year. Now, Burrow had 60, but he had 44. And then in the postseason, of course, he had 16 and obviously highlighted with the 7 against Oklahoma in the first half. I still have some Sooner fans that told me it is kind of like LSU Alabama when the 21-0 shutout. Oklahoma fans like, I don't ever want to see that game again. I don't ever want to see the first half again. I mean, that was just LSU at its best. But you got to protect Miles Brennan, and we got to be knowing that Miles is not going to make as many plays with his feet as Burrow did. Yeah. The other thing I've said, let's compare Miles Brennan in his first year starting to Joe Burrow in his first year starting. But Dar Rosenthal at left tackle is back in good graces and will be part of the LSU program when they come back, and hopefully they get back in July, JP. He'll be at left tackle along with Cameron Dwyer and Thomas Perry. At left guard, going to be tough to beat out Ed Ingram. This is a guy that, of course, came in. Adrian McGee held him off last year, but Ed Ingram's really good and will probably go pro after this his junior year. Jason Hines, can he live up to Lloyd Cushenberry? That's going to be a load, not only with the shotgun snaps, but the chemistry, the communication, all the calls that the center has to make. Battle with 2 redshirt freshmen, Cardell Thomas and Anthony Bradford at right guard. Austin Deculus. Listen, nobody's got a haircut right now because they're not open. But can you imagine what Deculus's hair looks like now? I mean, it's got to look like Fabio in the old days. Were you too young to know what Fabio looked like?
You can't believe it's not butter. Fabio.
And then the really exciting thing, as you alluded to, Jamar Chase back for his final year as a junior. Everybody's sleeping on Terrace Marshall. Racey McMath is a senior that's big, fast, and can catch everything. Yep. But Trey Palmer, all those other guys along with Kayshon Boutte. And here's the kicker, folks. Just like Derek Stingley was one of the best defensive recruits and players in the country as a true freshman, Eric Gilbert, he'll wear number 2. He's going to line up in space, in the slot, outside, as well as at tight end. When's the last time have you seen a guy making a number 2 jersey look really cool and fashionable? He looks like a big wide receiver. They will utilize him with mismatches in the red zone, but you still have to give Miles Brennan time. Defense is going to be fun to watch under the leadership of Bo Pelini.
I believe it'll be a more attacking defense. You mentioned the front for the offensive line for LSU. It all starts up front, as we know. The Saints know it starts all up front. They take Cesar Ruiz. Not a sexy pick, as you mentioned, but we talked about the Vikings absolutely destroyed the Saints in the front. I think Eric McCoy will shift over. The more I learn about Cesar Ruiz, that kid is a stud. Yeah. I think he will take over that center spot. Larry Warford, we'll see if he makes the team. I think they keep him on as that reporting as eligible, extra blocker. Sean Payton loves to run that jumbo package. Will Clapp went down last season, of course. Andrews Peak got the big contract over the offseason. He'll be back as a Saint, but he gets hurt every year. You got to have depth at the offensive line. Cesar Ruiz will come in, play very early. Sean Payton said didn't draft him in the first round for him to be a backup. He will play, and hopefully he gets that relationship built with Drew Brees quickly Don't know what this offseason workout plan is going to look like for the Saints with the OTAs or mini camps or when all that's going to get started, but they have to get that relationship solidified sooner than later. With the LSU Tigers, they have a lot of talent coming back on the offensive line, a lot of young guys fighting for spots. Cardell Thomas, the tape on that kid coming out of high school was amazing. He was manhandling good recruits at all these camps and really made everyone look at Cardell Thomas as this is a kid you need to get on your team. LSU lands him. He gets hurt last season, putting on some weight, I believe, in this quarantine. But who isn't? I think
that is, I think, folks, going to be the real problem that Ed Ogeron and Tommy Moffitt and those guys have. Now, look, they're doing Zoom and they're doing all the social media and the virtual stuff and all that. But let's be honest. When I get on this interstate and it says 70, I see everybody driving 80 and texting.
Well, they're texting.
Right?
Tell me
guess
about
what?
it. Oh, my
I'm
goodness.
hoping that Miles Brennan and those guys are throwing and catching because I'm not going to tell anybody if they are. I don't know what they're able to do. I don't know what they're getting away with as far as getting together and trying to work out. And I don't know if they're working out 4 or 5 at a time or whatever. But with not having the training table, here's the other thing that Coach O's mentioned in some of the interviews in the last month. He's worried about some of these kids that normally would have school that have to make up grades, make a certain GPA or a test score, an ACT or SAT. Guess what? Lo and behold, we don't know if all that stuff's going to get completed. So the clearinghouse might really be busy this August. You know, they always have a couple that are held up because of grades and classes. So it's kind of a mess. We haven't verified if there's going to be any summer camps at LSU right now. All of that is on hold, which is, once again, you put that stop sign up and say, have a little patience with this team because, listen, and I haven't said this at any other time, I'm going to say it today, but if the coronavirus was last year at this time and Burrow and all those guys missed all that work, there's no way they'd throw for 60 touchdown passes and have 400 yards a game, passing 40. It's the chemistry, the timing, the bonding. So, but as you alluded to, everybody's in a similar situation, so we'll see. I am feeling more confident once the NFL releases their schedule tomorrow night. Colleges and high school will follow through. The question is, JP, how many people will get in the stands? Will you have to wear a mask? And, of course, are we going to have social distancing? If we can only sit this close in a stadium to watch LSU Texas the second week of the game, are they only going to have 25,000 in there versus the 100,000 they would have with a sellout crowd?
Right. The NFL, for once, is doing something right. They say we're sticking to our schedule. We're not going to cancel anything. No international games this season officially for the NFL, but they're going forth with their schedule as planned. Don't know what the stadiums are going to look like once they do kick off, where they're going to play the games, who's going to be allowed to be inside the stadiums when they do play the games. I can only speak from experience. My family does have season tickets for the New Orleans Saints. So does my wife's grandfather, okay? The due date for the Saints season tickets was like a week and a half ago.
Yeah.
The 3 days after that, he gets a letter in the mail saying he's been charged with a late fee. Hit him with the late fee. Not only did they hit him with the late fee, they upcharged him from the year before. So they're still getting their money from these season ticket holders. I don't know if that's league-wide, nationwide. The New Orleans Saints, though, they're getting their money. We need to have some football.
Well, there's no doubt about it. And listen, folks, we talk about it all the time. This is a situation where health is your main priority.
Right.
But we've got to get this economy back rolling.
Yep.
And whether you want to hear it or not, sports is an incredible part of our life. I have seen LSU beat Miami with the Warren Morris walk-off home run probably 5 times. The other day I saw LSU and Ole Miss in 2003 when Chad Lavallee pushed the center who stepped on the ankle of Eli Manning, 17-14 game. I'll have Jack Hunt on tomorrow. He was a big part of that championship season. Seen LSU and Clemson 5 or 6 times. I've seen LSU and Alabama a bunch. And this is the interesting thing as I watched all those tapes back. And it didn't come to light last year because LSU outscored everybody. But they gave up 7 scores to Texas in the second half. Alabama scored 4 touchdowns in a row against LSU in the second half. Listen, Dave Aranda was fantastic. We know that. But I think that they really didn't get healthy, and they didn't play LSU defense until the last 4 games. The whitewash, not the whitewash, but the shellacking of Texas A&M 50-7, dominated Georgia 37-10. Oklahoma, it could have been 70+ if you wanted to get mean. And then, of course, they kneeled on the ball at the end against Clemson. But that defense now has to replace all those guys. But now we got to see, is Tyler Shelvin and Apu Ika, are they heavy? Have they kept their weight off? How good is Jabril Cox going to come in here and go from an FBS school to playing in the SEC? We know that Damone Clark and Micah Baskerville, Andre Anthony, Ray Thornton, all these guys, B.J. Ojolari, Marcel Brooks, all these guys are going to be at linebacker, but you still have Derek Stingley to shut down one side. You still have Jacoby Stevens, who I think will be merited with the number 18 before the season starts. Todd Harris is back. And so if you can get some pressure, more TFLs and more sacks and more north-south pressure from Bo Pelini going to the 4-3, it'll be interesting. I think you'll probably have a little better statistically defense, not nearly as much offense, and more rushing yards than last year. Obviously, less passing yards and less passing touchdowns. But Joe Burrow said it now. Miles Brennan can flat out throw it and spin it. The question is, when the pocket's breaking down, all those times that Joe ran around or went north, south, and picked up a first down, how good will Miles Brennan be when that pocket breaks down this year?
Now, you will have Mike Scarborough from TigerBait.com on the next segment here on Tigers Roar. He'll talk about the transfers coming to LSU along with some commitments. Big weekend for recruiting. LSU still killing it out there, getting a quarterback commit. Got the lineman from Stanford, Jabril Cox, we mentioned, coming to play linebacker. A lot more from Mike Scarborough right after this commercial break. Don't go anywhere. First, I want to talk about some Saints. They take Ruiz in the first round. They get to they never second round pick. Go third. Zach Bond. Get the tight end, best blocking tight end in the draft, according to some experts in Troutman. Trade away all of their remaining picks, then get back into the 7th round to take Tommy Stevens out of Mississippi State. Guy played at Penn State. Joe Brady was in a program at that time. Okay, everybody has seen what Sean Payton has done with number 7, Taysom Hill, the Swiss Army knife, playing all kinds of spots. Joe Brady, there was talk that the Carolina Panthers had an agreement with Tommy Stevens that if he went undrafted, they would sign him to an undrafted free agent deal. Sean Payton got wind of this along with Jeff Ireland, and they want to take Tommy Stevens because they invented that rule. Now, an unnamed source that's close to the league office has said that there might be some sanctions brought down on both the Saints and the Panthers. It's supposed to be this unwritten rule or an agreement that there is no talking with financial matters with any player that's in the draft process unless you are drafting that player. So, Tommy Stevens.
No disrespect to Stevens, but look, Taysom Hill to me is to ice cream. Let's be honest. Right now, Stevens is a salad or an appetizer.
Exactly.
And Taysom Hill, hey, we didn't have a chance to talk about the crab supply in New Orleans because famous Jameis Winston is going to be eating a bunch of them. And I'll tell you this, everything that we've seen from Winston has been incredibly mature.
Exactly.
He says, I want to be in the room with all those coaches and Sean Payton and Lombardi and Carmichael and Drew Brees and Taysom Hill. So now you've got 3 quarterbacks. It's still a trivia question that nobody's ever answered. Name the only NFL team to ever have one play with 3 quarterbacks on the same field. The Saints had it last year with Brees, Taysom Hill, and, of course, Bridgewater. Hill is going to continue to do the roles because they have Winston as the backup.
That's right.
But Stevens, to me, I thought this was kind of some Sean Payton ego with Joe Brady to make this move. Hey, look, I thought he was playing golf with Mike Ditka when he gave up the 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th round to get Troutman. But I do like his potential. I do like Zach Bond as a linebacker. And Ruiz has got to come in here. I don't know how good a run blocker he is, but they like him a lot as a pass blocker. So we'll see, but there's still going to be a sense of urgency for the Saints to win this year. As we know, not much time left for Drew. And then, of course, he'll be on NBC once he finishes playing.
That's right. And I don't know if you watched the draft, but it was a strange draft. Everybody was at home. They had the little webcam set up. A lot of these players were with their families. Not much emotion. A lot of guys were excited, happy, celebrating with their parents. Cesar Ruiz broke down crying like it meant more to him than anyone else in the draft. I appreciate that. The kid's been working his whole life to get to this point. Gets to come work with the Drew Brees, be his center. Got to be a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. He showed his emotions on the set, and I really appreciate that. Happy to have him. Tommy Stevens, I don't know if he'll even make the team.
Yeah.
He might be a practice squad
But
guy.
you can always stuff him on a practice
That's
roster.
Right.
For a year or two. By the way, I lost $50 because I thought Joe Burrow was going to hug his mom first, but he actually gave a hug to his dad first.
Right.
There were all these prop bets.
Yeah.
The craziest bet I've ever heard that was actually thrown out there, and as we know, casinos have been hammered with millions and billions of dollars of losses. But if you wanted to bet that Joe Burrow was the first pick in the draft this year, you had to put up $100,000 to win $100.
Wow.
The worst bet ever. I don't think anybody certainly would be stupid enough, even though it was a given and he was going to get picked. But we'll watch Cincinnati. Grant Delpit and Jacob Phillips go and join LSU North, now with OBJ and Jarvis and Greedy. So you got 5 Tigers on the Browns. Now we're going to be watching Cincinnati and Cleveland. We're going to be watching the NFC South. Yep. And as you alluded to, 55 million people watching the draft in 3 days, a lot of streaming, a lot of virtual. And this is kind of what we have to adhere to right now with the craziness. But let's all hope and pray and trust the good Lord will get us some kind of security to where we can get back and have football coming up here with camps and getting some activity late June, early July.
That's right. Like a lot of you out there, Pelican Broadcasting is working on a skeleton crew. So I'll be going back in the truck for this next segment. Buddy will stay right where he is. And we'll get Mike Scarborough from TigerBait.com on the phone. Don't go anywhere. You're watching Tigers Roar simulcast on the radio with Buddy Sports Talk. Want to give us a call? That number is 225-831-1029. Go ahead and give us a call. If not, sit back, enjoy it. This is Tigers Roar. Happy to be back. Once again, Buddy Songy, I'm John the Poche, and you're watching Tigers Roar.
Creel Tree Service is a licensed and insured tree service providing tree and stump removal, topping, trimming, cabling, pruning, and fertilizing. We have free stump removal with takedowns, free estimates, affordable rates, and senior citizens discounts. Call 774-TREE. That's 774-8733. Get your yard ready for the warmer weather. If it deals with a tree, call me, Creel Tree Service, 774-8733. That's 774-TREE.
Remember the smell of vinyl? What happened to all your old records? Lost in a move? Thrown out by the ex? Get them back. Classic Vinyl's record store and collectibles, 13847 Coursey, where you can find all old vinyl, all genres of music, rock, country, blues, and R&B. Classic Vinyls and collectibles behind Mary Lee Donuts and Coursey. If they don't have it, they'll get it. Look for them on Facebook. Classic Vinyls, sponsors of Classic Vinyls Classic Rock Night Thursdays at Scoreboards on Coursey.
Hello guys, it's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
Hi, I'm Bobby Yarborough with Manda Fine Meats. Here at Manda, we know what the folks of South Louisiana love. They love great flavored smoked sausage, delicious deli meats, and specialty items like boudin and andouille sausage. Manda Fine Meats has been providing these products since 1947. We produce them right here in Baton Rouge, so you know you're always getting the freshest product at your local grocery store. Manda Fine Meats. Taste the fresh local flavor in everything we make. Make it Manda every time.
I've seen a lot of things during my life. more bad things than good. I've lived in a lot of places, but never a home. I don't think anybody cares about me anymore. And now I'm tired. Signed, Brian, age 11.
Abused and neglected children in East Baton Rouge Parish are in dire need of CASA volunteers. Please call 379-8598 today. Change a life of hurt into a life of hope.
Hello. Hola. Ni hao.
Experience what the Baton Rouge International School can offer your children. Now welcoming displaced students for short and long-term stability.
Welcome you back here. Gorgeous Wednesday afternoon. You're saying, Bud, man, what are you doing on TV Live? Well, we are going to have replays. We are doing a special version of Tigers Roar and Buddy Sports Talk right here. Everybody knows it's Wednesday, and that means recruiting. And, of course, nobody does it better, and he's been with us for a long time, both on radio and TV. We bring in Mike Scarborough from TigerBait.com. And, Mike, suffice to say, you have been really, really busy, my friend.
No doubt. It's, this is the time of year where it's, we normally are busy in recruiting, but I think LSU is starting to really make up some ground in recruiting because when you look at the commitment list of most of their peer group, you're seeing some schools with numbers in the teens, and LSU's not in double digits yet, but I don't think it's going to be long before they get there. And it wouldn't surprise me if they're not in the teens by the end of May.
Yeah, no doubt about it, Mike. Let's kind of recap since we haven't done TV in such a long time. Pretty incredible that you look here and LSU has lassoed a couple of, grad transfers. And I made the joke, if you wanted a grad transfer quarterback, what did Ohio State have left sitting around? But Jabril Cox and Liam Shanahan, the latest two. Tell me what you've seen on film and where you think they fit for this 2020 LSU team.
Well, I mean, look, there's no denying on Jabril Cox when you look at him being a three-time All-American and the numbers he's put up and what some thought, had he come out for the draft where he might have been taken. It's just a huge get for LSU. And it's obvious by bringing him in, what they're trying to do for the class of 21, where more than half of the current commitments are on the defensive side of the ball. There's other defensive ends and linebackers out there that they want to be a part of the class. And he feels a need for them. And Bo Pelini had seen him when he was at, Youngstown and just a guy that they're excited to have. It's just big time.
We're showing some film of Cox right now on TV, Mike. 6'2", about 230, really runs. He wore number 42. There you see him making a tackle. A lot of INTs, an excellent cover guy, and loves to blitz the quarterback. So Bo Pelini's already got some things he wants to do with him.
Yeah, no doubt. And I really, and I know you've kind of said some similar things. I think LSU's defense in 2020 is going to be better than it was last year.
Well, it's hard to say that when you sit there and you look at Caleb on Chason and Patrick Queen going in the first round and Grant Delpit and Kristen Fulton going in the second round. 4 picks in the top 70 draft spots. But, look, I think we're all excited to see what these new guys can do. All right, let's roll a little film on Shanahan, the other grad transfer, who, of course, is an offensive lineman. And, Mike, I've been told this guy, grad transfer from Harvard, we hope he's got better luck than Andrew Hatch, who came over from Harvard over 10 years ago. But where do you think his role is?
Well, it said that he can play multiple positions on the offensive line. Initially, we were told, his release from LSU and his bio on the Harvard site said 275. And what did you get him at, 305, 310?
No, I was told he was closer to 290 than 270. So, this is a thing that's hard right now. how are we going to know what anybody weighs, seeing that they haven't been in front of strength conditioning coaches, seeing that they haven't been able to lift other than on their own, and, of course, seeing that they're not actually getting weighed each and every day. But I would imagine he's going to be close to 300 at some point, Mike.
Yeah, and it could also be the flip side where we think a lot of kids might come in heavy. I think there's going to be some kids that come in light just because they haven't had all the strength equipment at their disposal.
Of course, the other big news, and you've been predicting this before anybody, but it finally came to fruition. We know that Garrett Nussmeier was expected to commit to LSU on the day of the spring game. That got changed because there was no spring game, but he pulled the plug, and as always, you thought this was going to be a strong LSU commitment. And I'll tell you this, Mike, on the film that you had of him committing, I've gotten nothing but positive rave reviews about how this guy handles himself, what he says, and I know it's tough to try to connect the dots and say he's another Joe Burrow type because of what Joe Burrow did, but it is amazing how smart these coaches' sons are, isn't it?
Yeah, no doubt. That video, I had sent him some questions that I want to write my an additional commitment story on him, and he said, why don't I just shoot a video for you answering those questions so I don't have to type it out? And he just, set up his iPhone or whatever and talked into the camera like a pro. He uploaded it to my video upload host and did it all on his own. And I'm like, this is a kid who's just now, would be wrapping up his junior year of high school. And, between me and all the other outlets that he did media with in that 24-hour period, I'm like, I almost wanted to, text at him and say, man, okay, let's. I know this is a commitment time. You got all this media you're doing, but maybe you need to pull back so that by the time you get to LSU, you're not burned out and we're not fussing at Michael Bonnet because the quarterback doesn't want to come out and talk to us.
Yeah, he is well-versed. Of course, Mike also had some film that he shot when him and Caleb Williams and other guys came to camp. That was last summer. And Mike, once again, I verified it before we came on today. Right now, no camp scheduled on any SEC facility. So now we got to ask you the question, LSU, especially on some in-state kids, they wanted to see him at camp. Is that going to have an impact on recruiting this year?
I think it does. I keep using Keon Coleman, the wide receiver from Opelousas Catholic, as an example. What might have happened for him if the Ed Orgeron elite camp or one of the 7-on-7 camps, if he was there at LSU in June, is that an opportunity for him to earn an offer? There's not a single offensive lineman in the state of Louisiana with an offer right now for the class of 2021. Might there have been a kid who came out of nowhere and earned an offer, or at least raised some eyebrows that made them think, let's really try and see as early as we can in September to watch him. That's not going to happen now. So on one hand, I think LSU's about to load the wagon and be kind of in the realm where they would normally be in May and June with commitments. But I also think it's an unfortunate situation for a lot of kids who needed that camp visit. A lot of times you'll see these scholarship offers go out, and you'll say, well, that young man's got an LSU offer. Well, he's got an offer, but he was being told that he needed to come to camp. And the LSU coaching staff is awesome with the camps because, particularly the elite camp, it's a who's who. You've got your top wide receivers in the country there going against the top defensive backs in the country. And, you could see it right there on that day, who's going to end up with a committable offer and who's not. And they're not going to have that tool now.
All right, we are live on, once again, Pelican HD Channel 1013 on your Super Basic Cable 113, Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Morgan City, throughout the state, listening to Mike Scarborough, our recruiting analyst and specialist for the last, Mike, 20-something years. That being said, there's another young man that committed since we last talked, Xavier Carter, 6'3", 6'4", defensive end, outside linebacker, kind of light in the butt right now at 195. But some people think this kid, once he gets fully developed and grown and keeps growing, could be an Isaiah Simmons type of player from Clemson. That's the kid that everybody knows, a linebacker that went in the first round. Is he a D lineman? Is he a defensive end? Is he a safety? His body will dictate that, but I know he's got a lot of great potential. And we get back to the one constant that you got to give Coach O and his staff a lot of credit for, Mike. All high-character guys. We know there was a running back in Texas that was a great running back, but you don't need a cancer in the locker room. And this kid, this Xavier Carter, once again, hearing just another great high-character kid.
Yeah, super young man. And look, another athletic, long-arm kid that can run. And, I think the one thing that you're noticing when you look at the commitment list, these kids all have those measurables. I joked on the message board on the Tiger Den Premium board the other day about how years ago, people were questioning, has Tommy Moffitt lost it, or our kids don't look like Alabama's kids, and blah, blah, blah. Well, the difference was all their kids met all those crazy measurables. Now all these LSU signees, because LSU's recruiting nationally and doing it as effective as Clemson, Ohio State, and Alabama have done for the last decade, they're getting those kids and stealing them from those schools. I mean, how many times on your show before Orgeron got to LSU was I saying, when is LSU going to be able to go head-to-head with Clemson, Ohio State, Alabama, et cetera, for your top 100 national kid? And they're winning all these battles now. I mean, it's incredible the work they're doing. And I was on a show in Alabama yesterday talking about the work that Ed Orgeron does with the Zoom video chats. Nobody's logging the hours that he is talking to these recruits, and it's paying off.
Yeah, and the guy that was a great coach over here and brought LSU a championship, Nick Saban. I know some people still have the jilted lover syndrome with Nick, but he's just learning how to email and text. And now he was at the cutting edge with Skype, but suffice to say, Coach O has used social media and has done a great job of interacting. And let's be honest, Mike, Coach O said it on numerous occasions the last 5-6 weeks, recruiting is better because these kids have nowhere to go work out, so they're all at home and they're accepting phone calls. And the beautiful thing about it is that luster of seeing LSU, the last time we saw real live college football, LSU still a very hot class. Now the question is, Mike, what about the trenches and where's the beef? When are we going to start to see some O linemen and D linemen become a part of this 21 class?
Well, look, there's a lot of scuttlebutt out there, and he doesn't do a whole lot of interviews. And offensive lineman is obviously a big need in this class. We've talked about the Brockemeyer brothers a lot, but there's a lot of buzz right now about Garrett Dellinger, the big offensive lineman from Clarkston, Michigan, as being a guy that could pop sometime in the near future. And so you're talking about a 6'6", 280-pound tackle. And I've got him in the high category for LSU, a national 100 offensive lineman. And that's the unfortunate thing for Coach Craig. I feel sorry for him. You've got Will Campbell up at Neville for the class of 2022, but for 21, he's got to get every one of his offensive linemen from out of state. And if he can grab Dellinger and some of the others, Tristan Lee from Virginia, I think LSU's in great shape with. If he gets, a good 4 of those type of guys, he's going to have an awesome class.
Yeah, by the way, Paul was interacting. And, of course, this is what we have to do, folks, even though we're north of 50, like Nick Saban. And, of course, Mike is still a young guy. But we text and we look at the computer and the Internet and all of that while we're doing radio and TV. And, oh, by the way, I appreciate Alan and Bert and Marty and everybody, of course, JP, making this a dual show today. But LSU lost a big one to USC today. Did you hear about that?
Yeah, the video guy, I mean, that everybody was raving about.
Oh, man. Good luck, Will Stout. He's leaving Louisiana, small a, for capital L-A, Los Angeles. And, if you're a video media guy, let's be honest, you want to go out to California because that's where all the money is. The problem is that they swooped him up, and USC saw all those incredible videos. So another guy that won't be with LSU this year, Will Stout, Jacob Brown, we wish them the best of luck. But I will say this, the difference at USC and LSU, I think, is going to be the caliber of the replay and the athleticism and the great plays. USC a couple years behind what LSU did last year.
Yeah, no doubt. What's your over and under, buddy, or what's your target date if you were doing a pool? What's your date for when the LSU football players are back in the weight room? You thinking it can be June, or you thinking July?
You know, I think that every day we know people are working 24/7 to certainly. And look, the vaccine is not likely to be here before the end of the year, regardless of what President Trump or anybody else. That being said, bottom line is that I think if they can get in June 15 to June 30, then you can make it happen. You let them work for 2 or 3 weeks in July, you give them a week off, and then you come back beginning of August. So I would say another 5 or 6 weeks. I think we're okay if you can get somebody in there.
I honestly believe, and I've been saying it for weeks, I'm sticking with it. I think they're going to be in the weight room in the strength and conditioning program at LSU mid-June.
Mid-June? Okay. Well, look, you're a better scientific guy than me, you know. As we know, I'm hoping and praying and trusting that we can get some semblance. And I think that's why the NFL draft a couple of weeks ago and the unleashing and unveiling of the schedule tomorrow night, that is going to get people fired up, and you and I were talking.
Yeah, when that word leaked out last weekend about the NFL going to play their full schedule and they'd be releasing their schedule on Thursday, that got me excited because that means college football will follow their lead.
All right, Paul with a question wants to know about JoJo Earl. He said he's not a typical LSU recruit, being that he's 5'9", 170. He does have a relationship with Nussmeier. Where do you see him fitting? Is he a slot guy, and is he also going to be available for the return game?
Yep, that's it. Slot guy, change of pace. You've got your wide receivers that have the height on the roster, and you still got, Brian Thomas at Walker, who's 6'4" realm. Chris Hilton's over 6'1", 6'2". So you need those different type of guys that can do things in space, and certainly he fits that bill. But I mentioned those kids. Hilton and Thomas, and you're looking at LSU's commitment list, and only one of LSU's current commitments is from the state of Louisiana. So I think some of those guys are going to start getting into the fold. And of course, the biggie, Mason Smith, is. We have a big story on Tiger Bait about him on the front page right now, and Corey Foreman decommitting from Clemson.
Yeah.
I think LSU leads. I think LSU right now, I think they get both of them. So that's a big story to check out on TigerBait.com right now.
Holy cow. Corey Foreman, of course, very close. He's trying to get Mason Smith to come visit with USC. There's a concerted effort for USC. Let's not sugarcoat it. They're back in the game. Maryland is back in the game. It's amazing, Mike, when you talk about Bama, Clemson, Ohio State, LSU, Oklahoma, Georgia. I think those 6 are as good as anybody right now with their programs and recruiting. But Maryland got the wide receiver last year, and they're in on Caleb Williams, and USC has all their sugar daddies back in the fold in L.A.
Well,
we'll see.
I'm not sold that Miami's ever going to get back to where they want to be. You got Mack Brown at North Carolina. Is Maryland going to be a few years from now the school that starts to give Clemson some trouble in that weak league? I don't know.
Yeah. Hey, let's wrap up. You mentioned Mason Smith and you mentioned Corey Foreman. You think that they possibly could come together for LSU. Wrapping up, you got a Kane Williams commitment down the road and some other kids. So what?
Yeah, and then, Sage Ryan's out there, from Lafayette Christian, a whale of an athlete that can play on both sides of the ball. Of course, most we talk about safety with him. So, the Louisiana kids, when are they going to start dropping?
Yep. Mike, tell them what you got moving forward over at TigerBait.com.
Yeah, we're loaded down, well, check out tigerbait.com. Do yourself a favor. Get on the annual package. You're basically get 3 months for free with that, and we're dropping a lot of recruiting stuff on the message board all day long, and a lot of premium content, and a lot of free content as well. So we've got it all for you at tigerbait.com.
Good stuff as always, Mike. Had a lot of fun as we were on the site live with the first couple of days on the draft. There's always a lot of interaction, great message board talk, and once again, Mike on the cutting edge with both football and basketball recruiting. Mike, as always, good stuff, my man. We'll talk with you next week right here.
All right, buddy. Thanks a lot. Talk soon.
On a Wednesday. Thank you, Mike. We will take a break. If you noticed, I took the sunglasses off. The first couple segments, we symbolized the loss, and once again, we do hope that all of you will get back to some semblance of normalcy. And we also know that, of course, Jonathan Poche will join us back for another segment. Second segment on the other side of the top of the hour, Eddie Fuller, Earthquake Eddie Fuller, will spend a little time with us talking about the three-headed monster with running back. What's it going to look like with Chris Curry, Tyrion Davis-Price, and John Emery, who, by the way, had eye surgery in the offseason. We'll talk about sharing the load, running back by committee, and, of course, that incredible night in Tiger Stadium with Earthquake Eddie Fuller. On this Wednesday afternoon edition, a combo show, Tigers Roar and Buddy Sports Talk, and we'll come back right here on CBS Sports Radio, live from scoreboards on Pelican Sports TV, right after this.
No one can stop me when I taste the feeling. Nothing could ever bring me down. Nothing could ever bring me down. Taste the feeling.
Hello guys, it's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
Hi folks, Clarence Buggs here. Coach Roger Cador would take the time to tell you how to catch our brand new show, The Roger Cador Show, but as you can see, he's kind of busy right now out at Scoreboards, Baton Rouge's newest sports grill with food that is absolutely amazing. Catch the show 8 o'clock Tuesday nights, 6:30 p.m. on Wednesdays, and on Pelican Television's YouTube channel as well. You want to come out and have a great time. It's awesome, isn't it, Coach? Mm-hmm. Told you.
Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent. Depend on us for service, for selection, for price. Get huge Whirlpool savings. Shop now and save on Whirlpool appliances throughout the store. Plus, experience our price match guarantee and ask about special financing. You can depend on the know-how of people who live appliances every day. Bolello's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent with nationwide buying power.
Hi, I am Dr. Farrell Fruget Jr., and I am a general dentist at Fruget Family Dentistry. I was born and raised in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I went to Catholic High School, LSU, and LSU School of Dentistry in New Orleans, where I received my DDS degree in 1986. I always have and will continue to be committed to continuing my education, to invest in technology, which makes the diagnosis and delivery of dentistry more thorough, more comfortable, and more aesthetically pleasing. In our practice, we are here to serve the patients. We want to improve their quality of life and to develop relationships with our patients. In dentistry, we have a chance to impact lives on a daily basis, not just by doing dentistry, but by getting to know them and being a part of their life. We also believe in giving back to our community. So every year, we give back to the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank, Toys for Tots, and Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center. Please stop by and visit our office. We would love to take care of you and your family.
From appetizers, pasta dishes, and entrees, La Contea takes pride in preparing all the Italian cuisine we know you love. Enjoy live music every Thursday through Saturday from 6 to 9, happy hour weekdays from 3 to 6, and brunch on Sundays from 11 to 2, as well as dinner portion-sized lunch specials for under $10. Visit our website to view our menu and book a party or meeting in our large banquet room. Once you try La Contea, your Italian dining will change forever.
For Total Home Pest Control, who are you going to call?
Call the Bug Man, 923-BUGS.
For Total Pest Control for your home or business, call the original Salvant.
Call the Bug Man today, 923-BUGS.
And we welcome you back Wednesday afternoon, Capital City. First time JP and I have been back. We are taping live, simulcast TV, internet radio on this gorgeous Wednesday afternoon. First Wednesday, I mentioned it with Scarborough. Can you believe it? Will Stout, the guy who did all of those incredible LSU videos, is headed out west to go to USC and finish up. And look, you and I talked about it. You used a lot of his stuff. The guy is extremely talented, and of course, he'll make his living out on the West Coast, being in Hollywood area. But that, along with Brady, Burrow, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, going to be interesting to replace all of these, let's be honest, icons. Yep. Right. And guys that'll be tough to replace, including Will.
That's right. LSU dominated last season in social media interactions with their fans, LSU football, I should say. That continued all the way until the draft. They had millions more interactions than the second-place team. Will Stout did incredible work. His edits are like nothing else that was out there at the time. He did a great job. LSU's going to miss Will Stout.
All right, we're doing a combo, so we're going to take a phone call from one of our regular radio guys. We're doing TV and radio, and I'm not sure if he's listening on the app or watching TV. So if you are watching me, put your sunglasses on. Hello, Paul.
Good afternoon, my brother. I am listening on the app, not on TV. That drives me nuts. Why you always got that hat on and them sunglasses, man? Come on.
Well, it symbolizes loss, and we've lost so many sports, and there's so many businesses, and people have lost lives and jobs. It was just symbolization. I've taken them off. I've been without the glasses on for the last 30 minutes.
Hey, man, the future's so bright, you might have to wear shades.
You're right. I might have to put them back on.
There you go.
Hey, I keep seeing more and more universities announcing they're going to have football back in the fall. And I love that these announcements seem to be putting, I hate to use the term peer pressure because that's usually a negative thing, but the little peer pressure of all these dominoes falling is forcing some folks to say, yes, our intentions are to play a season today or this fall. And when I see, look, buddy, you and I have always been glass half full guys, but when I see a guy like Joel Klatt say, the more I'm reading, the more I think we're going to have football. I know there's going to be a football season this fall, brother.
Yeah, as long as you mention him, I don't mind it. But if you mention that other guy, Cal, well, I don't want to say his last name, but he continues to be an idiot. And the highlight of media last year was him asking Urban Meyer how Joe Burrow got away and went to LSU, JP.
That's right.
Boy, that's what you call prep for a show, huh?
That's right. And I mean, Paul, you mentioned the peer pressure. What a great thing it is at this case. If one person's go out there and make their money, we got to make our money too. LSU football, college football in general, so much money on the line. Come out early, put the pressure on everybody else to figure out a way to get this done. Are you giving out bio suits at the door? You having a stadium half empty? Or whatever you need to do, there needs to be college football this fall.
And you may have to put the mask on. You may have to put the mask on, and I just put the mask on. You can still hear me. But I'm hearing from people, Paul and JP, that people would social distance and sit 6 to 7 feet from people and wear a mask just to get into the stadium. So we want all of that to come back, but we also want to have a safety issue because, let's be honest, people want to go to the ball games. They want to tailgate. They want to cheer on their Tigers, their Jags, their Saints, and all their high school teams. But they also want to have some security that they're not going to be dealing with issues with COVID-19 down the road because of going to this event.
Brother, I won't get all the way in the rabbit hole with you, but I will tell you, I will absolutely sell my season tickets if they require us to wear a mask in that stadium. I'm not going to participate in that. So I do think that the season will be played, and I do think that given who our governor is, there's going to be some pressure to do some extreme measures. I mean, I've heard about things where they're talking about putting drones, shooting people's temperatures as they're walking into a facility for some of these large gatherings. Can you imagine the heat in September, which is almost as bad as August, standing in line to get into Tiger Stadium? And how many false positives you think you're going to get from that?
Well, the other thing,
that's really questionable.
Not to cut you off, but the other thing, JP, I've been adamantly against, and I'm sorry, and I heard Kevin Mawai and other people echoing the same sentiment. This move in football to February, whoever came up with that idea, you'd have college basketball, college baseball starting in college football. There's no way. Hey, we got a couple minutes to wrap up. What are you most excited about, Paul, moving forward? I think you and I and JP and everybody over here feels like we're starting to see some indication that we could have some movement. We could have those guys reporting back and working out. And, most strength and conditioning coaches have said 3 weeks to get them back, and then you got another month or so to practice. So, we're talking, if you got another 5 or 6 weeks, we make some progress. Boy, how exciting will that be? And, you never appreciate something, guys, until it's taken away, Paul.
Yeah, look, I think it's raised the awareness level of the American public. This is a wake-up call for a lot of folks. I've seen you and I agree with people we typically don't agree with. Makes for strange bedfellows when you and I are on the same page as Greg Sankey in the SEC office.
And Roger Goodell.
On the same page of some of the things that the NFL's done, announcing the schedule. You got to love it. A guy I thought I would never be a fan of, but I got to tell you, he is an awesome follow on Twitter, is Clay Travis. Mm-hmm. He posted something this morning and said, hey, in the flu epidemic, the Spanish flu epidemic of 1918, they still had a college football season and World War I going on. So even through all of that, they found a way to have a football season. So you can see in one of the pictures he posted with a Georgia Tech game.
Yeah.
The folks are wearing masks in the stadium, but there's no social distance. There's no physical distancing, brother. So it's going to be very interesting. I do think that the players are back and working out in June, and I think it's in the beginning of June, somewhere between June 1st and June 15th. And I think that the opportunity for players to have better access to nutrition, trainers, healthcare in general, while they're on the LSU campus, is a good reason for them to be on the campus and not at home.
Thank you, buddy. We are short on time. We're only doing 90 minutes today, so when you cut a long-winded guy like me from 2 hours to 90 minutes, we got to make it quick. Appreciate your loyalty, and we'll be back on with you tomorrow on, of course, WUBR.
Take care, brother.
Thank you, Paul.
Thanks, Paul.
And, of course, JP, we're going to wrap up with Eddie Fuller. Your final comments before we get another break in and then wrap up with Earthquake Eddie. By the way, you've got the play in the truck.
That's right. We'll show the Earthquake Eddie catch against Auburn. Before I get out of here, it might come back at the very end, but I want to wish a happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. What a great job you've done, having to wear all the hats out there, work from home, take care of the kids, be the teacher, also make dinner, clean the house. All stars in my book. Happy early Mother's Day to all those mothers out there. Certainly appreciate the job you've done now more than ever through this pandemic.
Even though I've been called a mother before, I'm not going to celebrate Sunday. Echo that sentiment. Great. We couldn't do it without you ladies. And always remember, coaches, wives, and moms out there, we couldn't do it without you. Quick timeout. We come back to wrap it up on a quick and fast-paced Wednesday afternoon. Tigers Roar right here on the Pelican, 1013 on your HD TV dial. Okay, let me call it.
We've been fighting the war on drugs for a long time. We answer the phone 24/7, 365 days a year. On a busy night, we answer hundreds of calls. This war on drugs needs our intervention.
Since 2014, Addiction Hope and Helpline has helped people struggling with drugs and alcohol.
When the phone rings, we help people when they need it the most. When we get a caller into treatment, it feels right. It feels good. It's a blessing.
If you're struggling, drinking, using, and need to get clean, don't suffer alone in silence. Call Addiction Hope and Helpline.
Our people understand, and many are also in recovery. Call for support and strength. You can call for someone who can't or isn't willing. It's an act of love. Together we can help you beat this thing and erase addiction from your vocabulary once and for all.
Call 800-383-8177, 800-383-8177.
Hello guys, it's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf and Country Club, a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to greystonecountryclub.com.
From appetizers, pasta dishes, and entrees, La Contea takes pride in preparing all the Italian cuisine we know you love. Enjoy live music every Thursday through Saturday from 6 to 9, happy hour weekdays from 3 to 6, and brunch on Sundays from 11 to 2, as well as dinner portion-sized lunch specials for under $10. Visit our website to view our menu and book a party or meeting in our large banquet room. Once you try La Contea, your Italian dining will change forever.
For Total Home Pest Control, who are you going to call?
Call the Bug Man, 923-BUGS.
For Total Pest Control for your home or business, call the original Salvat.
Call the Bug Man today, 923-BUGS.
No one can stop me when I taste the feeling. Nothing could ever bring me down. Nothing could ever bring me down. Taste the feeling.
They said I could find you here. Why are you fishing? Our company's got to ship out 2 full color brochures and 20 color copies. You're killing me.
It's done. Designed, printed, packaged, and shipped.
How?
You just got to know the right people. Baker Printing, the printing people.
How come you get to fish in this private lake?
Like I said, you just got to know the right people. You can know the right people too.
Hi, I'm Bobby Yarborough with Manda Fine Meats. Here at Manda, we know what the folks of South Louisiana love. They love great flavored smoked sausage, delicious deli meats, and specialty items like boudin and andouille sausage. Manda Fine Meats has been providing these products since 1947. We produce them right here in Baton Rouge, so you know you're always getting the freshest product at your local grocery store. Manda Fine Meats. Taste the fresh local flavor in everything we make. Make it Manda every time.
Hello. Hola. 你好.
Experience what the Baton Rouge International School can offer your children. Now welcoming displaced students for short and long-term stability.
And we welcome you back, wrapping it up on this Wednesday afternoon combo Tigers Roar, and of course, Buddy Sports Talk, both TV and radio today. A little trial for all of us here, and we bring in Eddie Fuller, Earthquake Eddie Fuller, the man who is known for catching that ball in the back of the end zone, and the noise was so crazy it registered on the seismograph. Here you see the play, Tommy Hodson underneath the center. Ruffin Rodriguez barely gets his block in, but he holds that guy off. Mike Archer holds up his finger for one. Eddie, there is the catch, and I know it still resonates, and I know you talk to people, even if it's by virtual Zoom now, over and over again about this catch. You and Tommy will forever be etched in LSU football history. Happy Wednesday, my friend.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that, man. It's great to start off a Wednesday with that catch because it feels like it was just yesterday, man.
Hey, look, we wanted to get you on. Obviously, LSU had 5 in the first round with the draft a couple of weeks ago. 14 overall, 6 undrafted free agents. Eddie, when you talk about 15-0, beating 7 top 10 teams, all the yardage, all the stats, now with the draft, it's pretty much a no-brainer. The greatest LSU team ever. Agreed?
Oh yeah. I tell you what, they had role players. They had guys that kind of fit every situation, and when they didn't fit it, they made them fit. So it was probably easily one of the greatest or the greatest team in LSU football history. So I'm looking forward to seeing those guys develop in the pros, and hope that they have some really good, nice careers.
Clyde Edwards-Helaire picked with the 32nd pick in the first round, going a perfect fit for Kansas City. Eddie, if you could talk to Clyde Edwards-Helaire, what's the biggest thing he needs to get ready for? And albeit we're under strange circumstances, but is it lift, workout, run, stay flexible, and obviously get into the playbook? Is that what he needs to do? Or with these crazy scenarios, everybody kind of in a holding period, what's your advice to CEH? All right, we cut Eddie off. Okay, Eddie's on. All right, Eddie. What should we do? What should Clyde Edwards-Helaire do getting ready for now over at Kansas City? All right, Eddie. Let's try that one more time. What should CEH do getting ready to be a Kansas City Chief, Eddie?
Well, I mean, look, he's already kind of ready. So I think the biggest thing that he's going to have to do is just kind of open his mind and be a rookie. I mean, when rookies come in, they do everything, and that's what he's going to have to do. And he's going to have to really just be a sponge and absorb everything that's going to come to him in terms of learning and just learning how to be a pro.
Of course, Eddie, as we know, had a 9-year career, and we also know that he was in 4 Super Bowls with the Buffalo Bills. Eddie, going to Kansas City with Patrick Mahomes, the one thing that, and JP joins me back for the rest of the show, the one thing that was so cognizant that LSU will struggle to, replace with Clyde Edwards-Helaire going out as the first round is his ability to catch the football, get extra yards, Everybody will always remember the way he played against Alabama, but putting that foot in the ground, Eddie, and making people miss, and that spin move kind of remind me a little bit of Eddie Fuller in his younger days.
I wish, man. You're being too kind, but I tell you, he's gonna be a compliment up there with Mahomes. The way that he moves around, you can never take your eye off of him. But when you do, he's got guys like Hilaire that's going to be able to move around and kind of move into worse passing lanes and then be effective and then have that offense move.
Of course, we're wrapping up on a Wednesday afternoon. JP, going to be interesting. Eddie, of course, was a part of it. Eddie, John Emery had eye surgery in the offseason. Tyrion Davis-Price is the bull in the china closet, and yet Chris Curry exploded. Looked like he was shot out of a cannon once he started getting his opportunities in November. What's the mindset when you have a three-headed monster with running back by committee?
Well, I mean, the mindset, number one, as an individual, you want all the carries. I mean, you want to be the guy, but in the grand scheme of things, that you know that you're just a three-headed monster, obviously. So everybody's got their strengths and weaknesses, and as a group, the coach, the running back coach will probably, I mean, those guys are going to be pulling for each other anyway. And I remember, man, when you have a committee, everybody wants everybody else to do well. So those guys are going to push each other to be the best they can be, to be assets to the team.
Hey, you know Kevin Falk. What kind of running back coach is he going to be? I know he's great recruiting, and boy, when we only saw him 2 or 3 practices in spring, he was so excited to be out there once again teaching the skills that he learned with a great NFL career, and of course some Super Bowl rings as well.
Well, I mean, I think he's going to be a great coach. I mean, I tell you what, players have. I think a lot of times they have a lot more respect for those guys who've put the pads on and the helmet than guys that have, that just certainly do have great coaches that don't actually play the game or don't get the level of success that Kevin Falk did. But I think that he's one of those guys that, he's a Tiger. I mean, he played there, and he's one of the Tiger greats. So what can you not learn from a guy like him?
Hey, you guys had this same situation up in Buffalo with your NFL career. When you get to the apex, and of course you guys got to the Super Bowl those 4 times, but how do you erase that the next year and start from scratch, and how tough will that be, not only for the players, the mamas and daddies, the coaches, but also for the fans, Eddie?
Well, you know what, I think it's probably going to be the most difficult for Coach O. Probably has already erased that. And that's trickled down to his assistant as well as the player. So those guys right now, it's a clean slate. Like I said, the toughest folks are going to be us as the fans who are going to want to replicate everything that happened from last year. But you got to keep in mind, I mean, we got a whole new chalkboard with different colors on it. So we're going to have to kind of start from scratch and build from there.
Eddie, you being in the medical field, give us some forecasting. Not that we're going to pin you down on it, but do you feel like with the NFL releasing the schedule tomorrow night, we're starting to see more and more innuendos and some situations to where we're starting to get a little more positive about football this upcoming season? You hearing similar things?
I'm hearing a few things. I was actually on a video conference call with one of my customers today, and he was thinking, in terms of medically being able to start at least feeling comfortable. He's saying mid-June, maybe the end of June, before he really starts feeling comfortable with cases coming in, kind of trying to get back to usual. But he's telling me that it's going to be a little bit further out than that. He's probably being a little bit optimistic right now.
What do you think these guys need before they start camp? With 2 or 3 weeks in the weight room and running and conditioning, would that get them ready to go with a full 4-week camp in August, Eddie?
Yeah, that sounds about right. And quite honestly, these guys are probably right now. They probably never stopped. Albeit they may be in their homes or wherever they may be. But I'm pretty sure, with this technology that we've had to get familiar with, those guys are doing stuff. It's probably happening all across the country, man.
Hey, man, as always, appreciate your access on TV and on the radio. Stay safe and healthy with you and the family, and we'll talk with you again real soon, Eddie.
All right, buddy. Thanks for having me, man. Have a good one.
Thank you. And JP, to wrap up here, obviously everybody trying, and certainly we know security and health is at the crux of this thing. But man, oh man, could you imagine how fired up people would be if we start to see a cure, testing, and all the things that we want to take care of from the medical standpoint, to where we can get back and go to our restaurants and go to our stores and invariably go to our sporting events.
There's a lot of stuff everybody is really itching to do. Go out to eat, just have somebody wait on you at a table. I know it's a luxury that you really take for granted, just going out to eat and having a beer with your friend at the local pub. I mean, it's been crazy being on lockdown for this long. I don't think anybody really thought it'd be this long. Going on, week 8 almost?
Yeah.
And it's been I got a question for you, bud, man.
Sure.
So you got Cecil Collins, Eddie Fuller, Kevin Falk in a room, man to meat right in the middle. Who's coming away with that piece of sausage?
Ooh, I don't know, man. I tell you what, Booger was doing some interviews, and he was talking about how great Cecil was. Unfortunately, Cecil did not take care between the ears. Yep. Kevin Falk, man, when you talk about yardage, punt returns, catching the football, and the character and legacy, I think that we're going to see Kevin Falk's number, no doubt about it. Just like Jerry Stovall was this last year, I think Kevin Falk's the next number. They don't retire the number anymore. They just retire the jersey, so that's going to happen, I think, coming up here. But Eddie Fuller is going to be proud, because let me tell you what I'm thinking. That number 33, Trey Palmer, is going to score a few touchdowns. And when you talk about Chase and McMath coming in and Terrace Marshall, the tight ends, once again, if they give Miles Brennan a little time to throw, got to do the same thing with Breeze. Let's be honest. Breeze is a lot better when he's standing up vertical. But we just are hoping that we'll have some stuff to talk about. We will not be doing post-game again next year, because what happened? We didn't do post-game, and they went 15-0.
Yeah. What more could you ask for? 15-0, national championship, had the Heisman winning quarterback, setting every record in the book. You can't beat that. I mean, it's going to be tough to replicate. Certainly can't beat it. LSU football, a championship hangover like no one's ever seen. I mean, all you have to do these days is watch the replays of all these great dominating performances by the LSU Tigers. They're still living on that season. LSU dominates the draft, 14 players drafted, ties a record. I wanted Thad Moss to get drafted to break that record at 15. But, hey, it is what it is. LSU Tigers still only champion in college sports. Once they won the championship, they shut everything down.
It's crazy the way the world works. I was just thinking as you said that, can you believe if they had had a bad season? Can you believe if they had had 4-8 season? Everybody would be going crazy, and they wouldn't be watching these replays.
Right.
But on what you've seen as the best and greatest season ever, now the fans are going to expect another great year. We appreciate each and every one of you tuning in, all of our radio and internet shows, all of our TV shows. Don't forget, Bill and Kevin will be back in these chairs tomorrow with the Exiles. CB, Clarence Buggs, continue to do a great job.
That's right.
And it was great to be back with you on Tigers Roar.
I certainly enjoyed it. Don't forget about the Exiles right here on the Pelican, 10 to 12 tomorrow. That's 10 a.m. to 12 noon, but also replays 10 p.m. to midnight. Same for the Clarence Buggs Show, Mondays and Wednesdays. The Pelican was very fortunate to pick up some great shows, daytime entertainment, very informative. They have great guests, the A-list guests that you want to hear from in Louisiana, talking to Louisiana folks about Louisiana issues. I've certainly enjoyed being here on desk with the Budman Buddy Songy for another episode of Tigers Roar. Certainly appreciate you tuning in. If you missed anything, check us out on YouTube, youtube.com/Pelican Broadcasting. It has everything we do at the Pelican. Go check it out, youtube.com/Pelican Broadcasting.
And make sure you take care of those moms this Sunday. We couldn't do it without you. Happy Mother's Day to everybody out there. Stay safe, stay healthy. JP will be back again later on in the month of May.
That's right. Happy Mother's Day, and thank you.